Welcome, please hit the subscribe button. Here's the truth that's going to sting but might just save your relationship life. Women aren't wired to care about you the way you think they should. They don't stay because you're nice. Welcome back to our channel. Please like and hit the subscribe button to help us grow, please. They don't fall deeper because you buy flowers or memorize their favorite coffee order.
And if that hits your ego like a cold slap, good.
Sometimes pain is the only alarm clock that actually works. Let me paint you a picture that probably sounds familiar. You're doing everything right on paper. You're loyal, you're generous, you remember anniversaries, you text good morning every single day. Yet somehow, she's still pulling back.
Still testing you.
Still making you feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own relationship. Sound about right? Here's what's really happening. Women respond to your energy, not your effort. They feel your presence, not your presentations. And while money can definitely catch attention and status can open doors, these things can't force someone to respect you. Once respect vanishes, even a wealthy man starts looking small in her eyes. So when you're scratching your head wondering why she's acting distant after you paid for that expensive dinner or helped her move apartments, you're missing the fundamental truth. Women care about one thing above all else: how being around you makes them feel about themselves and about you as a man. But here's where most guys get confused. You might think I mean make her feel loved, pampered, or emotionally supported. That's part of it, but not the core.
What I'm talking about is deeper.
When she's in your presence, does she feel like you're unshakable or do you crumble under pressure? Does she sense you have boundaries or does she feel like she can walk all over you? Does being with you feel like she's found something rare, or does it feel like she's got you figured out completely? That feeling comes from something that has nothing to do with your bank account or how many compliments you give her. It comes from your standards. Not the ones you talk about, but the ones you actually live by. And here's the encouraging news: standards aren't about being controlling or mean. They're simply about deciding what version of yourself someone gets access to, and then actually sticking to that decision. Before we dive deeper, hit that like button if this is resonating with you. It helps this message reach other guys who need to hear it. Let me give you 2 specific standards that will completely change how women perceive you, starting with the first one that's absolutely crucial. Build a life that can't be easily replaced. This might sound obvious, but most men completely miss this. When you make a woman your entire world, you lose all negotiating power in that relationship. You'll tolerate anything just to keep her around because without her, you feel like you have nothing.
And look, you get it.
When you care deeply about someone, it's natural to want to prioritize them. But there's a massive difference between making someone important in your life versus making them your entire reason for existing. The moment your peace depends entirely on her mood, you've already lost. Think about what happens when you structure your whole emotional life around one person. She texts back late, and your entire day shifts. She seems distant, and you start panicking. She doesn't laugh at your joke, and suddenly you're questioning everything. You've essentially handed over the remote control of your emotional state to someone else.
This is where the dangerous spiral begins.
You start chasing the peace that you used to have naturally. You start performing for her attention instead of simply being attractive.
You cancel your gym session when she wants to hang out.
You drop your side business when she needs something.
You ignore your friends when she's feeling needy.
At first, she might enjoy having this much influence over you. Then she gets used to it. Then she expects it. And finally, she loses respect for it. Because deep down, she knows that a man with nothing substantial going on has nothing substantial to offer. Here's what changes everything. When you have genuine purpose, direction, and structure in your life, you don't need to threaten or argue or prove yourself. Your life speaks for itself.
Your routine demonstrates your discipline.
Your goals show your ambition. And women can feel this immediately. A woman doesn't want to feel like she's dating someone who's just waiting around for her to give him a life worth living. She wants to feel like this man already has something meaningful happening, and she gets to be part of it. That's the energy that creates attraction. Watch how this plays out in real situations. She texts you at 6:30 asking to move your 7 o'clock dinner to 9 instead. The man with no direction drops everything because he's terrified of her losing interest. He's not responding from confidence. He's reacting from fear. And when you move from fear, you don't lead, you follow. But a man with standards and purpose stays calm. He simply says he can't change plans that late, and suggests another day. No anger, no lengthy explanations, no begging.
Just a clear boundary.
And what does she feel in that moment? That he's not easily manipulated. That his time has value. That feeling creates respect, and respect creates attraction. The same principle applies when she starts playing attention games or acting single on social media. The man with no direction fights, argues, writes emotional paragraphs, and essentially broadcasts his insecurity to the world. The man with purpose simply states that he's not interested in competing for his own relationship, and if she wants attention from other men, she can do it without him. Then he goes back to his mission. This brings us to the second crucial standard that separates respected men from used men: stop rewarding bad behavior. This is where most guys completely sabotage themselves without even realizing it. Here's the pattern that kills attraction every single time. She disrespects you, so you try harder to win her back. She acts cold, so you buy her something nice. She ignores your texts, so you send even more. She threatens to leave, so you start begging. What message does this send? That treating you badly actually gets her more attention, more effort, more rewards. You think you're showing love, but you're actually showing fear.
And women don't follow fear.
They follow strength, clarity, and men who understand their own worth. Every time she raises her voice and you become gentler, every time she disrespects you and you become more generous, every time she pulls away and you start performing for her attention, you're training her to believe that you have no backbone, that you'll accept anything just to keep her around. But here's the key insight: standards aren't about shouting or being toxic or trying to dominate anyone. Real standards are much simpler than that. Bad behavior simply shouldn't come with benefits. If disrespect still gets access to your time, energy, and resources, then your boundaries are meaningless. When you stop rewarding negative behavior, something shifts immediately. She realizes that your attention actually has value. That access to you must be earned. That you're not controlled by the fear of losing her. And that triggers something powerful in her mind: this man has self-respect. Self-respect is attractive because it signals strength. It tells her that you're not going to stick around no matter how she treats you. That you're not easy to manipulate or control. And once she feels that energy, she starts behaving differently, not because you argued with her, but because your entire presence changed. The consequence isn't always ending the relationship. Sometimes it's simply reducing access. Less attention when she's disrespectful. Less emotional availability when she's testing you. Less of your best energy when she's not appreciating it.
You don't argue hors lecture. You just step back.
This works because a fundamental truth about human nature: people cannot respect someone they can mistreat without consequences. It's that simple. When bad behavior still gets your sweetness, your presence, your resources, you're essentially training her to lose respect for you. But the moment you stop rewarding nonsense, everything shifts. Not because you became harsh or cold, but because your energy finally matches your worth.
You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't argue. You simply control access.
And when someone realizes they can't play games with you anymore, they either step up their behavior or they lose you.
That is what real standards look like.
That's the one essential truth every man needs to understand about women. They don't respond to what you say or what you promise. They respond to what you actually do and who you actually are.